Yo. So I was sitting here working on music stuff and I saw that I had just looked over at my YouTube just to check what was popping up. And this popped up message for a specific chosen one who has decided to be Neo. We are closer than you think. And for a number of reasons, this is clearly aimed at me. I literally, last night, I made a video, Beyonce and Fernanda Mota versus my mental health. I bring her up in it. I show how literally Neo, the Matrix, seems to be an intellectual property knockoff of what's going on in my reality. I don't choose to be anything. I'm in a situation that is not of my own, not of my own choice, is what I'm getting at. But let's watch this. And also, Neo is just again a knockoff. The one conquering at the seven churches of Asia, and is the actual thing. But if you notice, what there's just you can get things from even what she has decided to put here. But I want to listen to it real fast and then reserve saying anything really until after listening to her message. That being said, what I can tell you very outright is that this is a way of tiptoeing and not engaging that something evil is happening. Instead of speaking out against evil, she's using her platform to, I guess, probably someone's paying her to act like this, which is a problem, in my opinion. If you see something wrong, you say something, and it ends it. There is a reason all this evil shit's going on in the world. It's a bunch of people have gotten in the way in front of me, and instead of helping me to engage these things, they put themselves as obstacles in my way because they're paid to, because they're sellouts. Is that what's going on with her? At this point, it's going on with a lot of people. So I suppose we'll see. But yeah, let's just listen.
There's some. Hello, my ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome.
Also, I want to say she seems very. I watched a little bit. She seems very condescending, which to me comes off as very naive on her part. I don't think she realizes when she's saying we are closer than you think. I don't think anything. I don't think anything. Other than this comes off as incredibly naive because I don't think you have realized what you've gotten yourself into. This here, the fact that very clearly the video isn't up yet, should be very obvious that people are looking at me in a way they should not be. People are accessing my private space, my private accounts, my private whatever, in a way they should not be. It is abundantly clear to me that it's naive on your part to think that there's not going to be a problem for you due to that. In the least, that. So let's watch this, but, you know, I'm just starting off the bat in the same way that I was describing in the Beyonce and Fernanda Mota versus my mental health video. Not engaging something that's going on, kind of in a passive aggressive way, using spirit as a way to tiptoe around a situation and not just bluntly engage or sharply engage it, is a very, I'm going to say, wrong way of going about things. And it already doesn't look good that this is how you choose to engage this. So, okay, let's listen.
Welcome back to another episode of Look What's Happening in the Spirit Realm with yours truly, Light. Today, I have a rogue message. I've been feeling this intense, passionate energy in the air. There's something
Wildly naive about how you're going about this? Yes, it does look very childish and naive, but okay.
in intention, in a sense of direction, desire that is hunting after you. Your name is on it. I don't know what this is to you in particular, but you reached the end of a path, a road. You've been walking this road for perhaps a year and a half now, maybe 2 years. And a lot of changes have occurred in your life. Changes that you could not have predicted. You may have ended up in a position that honestly you didn't really
I could not have predicted, except, me in this video is literally showing like 7 years ago. I'm using messages that are like pertinent to the day. Did I predict it? No, I didn't predict anything, did I? I don't know anything that's going on. I don't know anything. I mean, really, it seems evidently naive to me that she's trying to engage this in this way. And this is what happens when you let rogue spiritism overtake the truth of Yahweh, the one true God, the Supreme. Or when she says the Most High, yo.
intend on getting there, or everything happened perfectly. It fell together for you. And you are in a position right now that maybe you're going with the flow. You don't really know what's going to transform out of.
I'm going to say this. When you keep saying you don't really know, I don't think you really know. And, being, I suppose, paid to put these messages out in a way that is plausibly denied. At this point, it's not plausibly deniable. It's just you are clearly speaking to me in this situation.
Of this. And sometimes there could be a sense of feeling lost or overwhelmed, as though maybe there's something you need to do here, or having a sense of overwhelming peace. I mean, this is exactly where I should be. What else can I do? Learning so much about yourself in such a short period of time, almost to the point where you cannot keep interactions for too long with people because you don't.
Because people don't engage what I'm saying and they just fucking pretend like nothing is happening, which I am telling you is evil. And, Yahweh, exactly as it's said in the book of Revelation, is going to deal with a lot of people in a very harsh and terrible, dreadful way. I would suggest you don't let that be you.
Really know exactly who you're transforming into. This is a season where you are very malleable and you tend to take in information and relinquish it at such a rapid rate.
Do I seem malleable? Or do I seem like very rigid in my belief, and that belief is clearly the truth, and that people are trying to insinuate, this is like suggestive mentalism, but it's just foolish, in my opinion, that she would be trying to say this and do this. None of these are landing. Nothing's hitting here. I think you've gotten yourself in a situation that you don't understand.
That your growth and expansion is completely phenomenal. It's almost as though you have been injected with spiritual steroids or something like that. Steroids? Steroids. You know what I mean. This message is for you.
Because I took back, she's talking about it because I'm getting bigger. It's because I've taken back something that's mine, and people that have stolen from me, it's inherently coming back into my being. So to put it like, oh, it's just spiritual steroids, the entire way this is being framed by someone who is, again, this is spiritism. It has nothing to do with Yahweh or God or, I'm going to say this, real spirituality. I don't think any of this magic shit does. But anyway, okay.
It is for you.
Yeah, because it's mine.
You are, my dear. Nothing you can do from here on out can fumble it for you. You have truly, in many ways, though the lesson feels like a weight, Like you still have yet to do with it, and sometimes it feels as though it is conquering you.
No. It feels like there's a fucking knife in my leg. Like a drill has been drilled into my thigh and into my knee. But no, it doesn't feel like a weight like that.
Without knowing, you have entered a state of flow and a state of truly relinquishing your power and intertwining it with that of the highest of the high, the most high, the creator.
Yeah, yo, that would be, I haven't relinquished anything. I've been on the throne, it would seem, the entire time. I've been the one conquering at the seven churches. If I am the one to do that, I was always going to be the one to do that. I don't think she quite understands how this works, but I'll continue to hear her out because it's reasonable to continue to listen. But everything that I've gotten so far is a bunch of mentalism trying to make me feel as if I don't already know my own situation.
The it, the that which is I am. What
You mean the name Yahweh, which you just refuse to say, as if it's Voldemort or something? Yeah, this seems exactly like fucking Harry Potter and a bunch of fucking wizards that don't want to engage that Yahweh God is looking at them and telling them to stop through my spirit, which is the spirit of Yahweh God. Elion. Alien. Elion, the Most High.
whatever that is, consciousness. And so
Not whatever that is. There is only one. This is why this is a fucking issue, because pretending there's another one is leading to all the fucking problems that you see going on in the Middle East and in Europe and all this stuff with all these protests. These idiots can't even tell you what they're protesting actually, and they can't stand on fact when they do. But when you don't say the name of the deity, Yahweh, there's an issue that arises that you can clearly see where other pretenders show themselves and use that as like a vacuum. It's like a power vacuum. But they think it's like Voldemort. I mean, actually, do you see how the amount of like effort she put into not just saying Yahweh?
so you have entered your ultimate or your highest timeline. That means you have merged all the other timelines, meaning you are aware of your existence and you are going through like the nook and crannies of these timelines by understanding the fact that it isn't the wrong or right decisions that you make, but the trust in the path and the relinquishing, surrendering of what you believe you are and what you think you can do. And so there's surprise after surprise.
I mean, it seems absurdly naive that she would talk down to me like this.
Coming for you. And it's going to come in a very dead format. Like that's what I'm hearing. It's kind of like mute. You're not it's not something that you have prepared in your mind or that you have it is a part of your manifestation, but there is something extra to it. That's what I'm hearing. And I cannot quite tap into the energy myself because it's kind of in it's almost tailored to imagine if somebody had you under a microscope. Like you were
Like a bunch of witches and wizards are watching me in a way they shouldn't be, basically, using like black hat hacking techniques. Yeah, I fucking know. I mean, it's not so unobvious to me. It's just been difficult to pull it out as I've pulled you and all these fucking people out in the open in a way. This is literally the Book of Thessalonians when it says there's a rebellion going on in secret. I don't take that as the Dub Rebellion, right? That one doesn't seem so secret when they're literally naming it the fucking Dub Rebellion. You know, it seems secret to me. A bunch of fucking witches and wizards acting like shitheads trying to talk down to me when it's killing humanity. And you think you're the one? You think you're light in this situation? That's darkness. The fact that you can't engage that this is hurting people is darkness. You should feel terrible that you can't just come out and say what it is. That you have to tiptoe around the issue and leave it up to Oh, it's the spirits.
or their
Oh, I'm
specimen.
sorry. Oh, it's spirit.
They're it's almost tailored to imagine if somebody had you under a microscope.
I don't have to imagine.
You were their specimen. I'm thinking about
Like I'm in some kind of lab that people should not be trying to operate in any kind of way, and that you put yourself in extreme danger by doing so. But people like her will take money to do that. That's been my point, and it's selling out humanity in order to make evil points to me for wealthy people. That's what it is, or I guess a group of people, whether they're wealthy or not. I think as a group, the idea of the Nicolations, the victory over the people. You can be just a random person that's empowering the victory over the people, right? You can be someone who reasonably should be the people, but then you aren't because you're selling yourself out. Is that you? Because that's what it looks like to me. But maybe she's completely unaware of how this looks to someone with a higher perspective and a lower perspective. Maybe a better perspective. Maybe a real perspective. Maybe just perspective.
the creator of Powerpuff Girls and how he had them under like the specimen, and you could add all the spices to create a specific type of potency in the energies that they can have within them, and to amplify some and to lower others. I feel like
I just want to say I think Powerpuff Girls canon is that it's just the professor throws in sugar, spice, and everything nice. I don't think there's really like a measuring of how much goes into it. I mean, actually, don't make me pull out my Cartoon Network knowledge on you.
you have allowed your higher self, your spiritual being, to do that transformation to your body, to your mind. And the type of situations entering, it takes a strong spirit to.
You mean I've taken back my power in a situation where people have wronged me severely, and instead of engaging it as such, you're describing it in some stupid fucking Powerpuff Girls metaphor that isn't even accurate. Don't be mad at me that I'm cutting you to pieces with my sharp double edged sword of a mouth because you're not actually engaging the reality as it is. Not just the reality, reality as it is.
endure it because it takes a spirit that can continue surrendering.
I would suggest even just looking at her left and right eyes. Okay, your left and right eyes. Your left eye. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is your left eye. It looks like it's having that same issue. You might even be well meaning with this, but this is not the way to go about this. To me. And by the end of all this, that's going to be the only opinion that matters. It's not even an opinion. It's just going to be the reality that matters. Hey, you should have just come out and said that this evil thing is evil. You don't have to tiptoe around it.
The path is ever molding, it's ever transforming, and you are transforming as fast with it internally. And there's a fear aspect to it, like you're falling. You keep falling.
No, but I did just hear like that. Actually, that's perfect. Let me uh let me pull this up because I just added literally like the last couple tracks, which would have been right before watching this, to the Dua Lipa mix that I'm working on. So let's pull this up here. Let's see here. Okay, we go to the Dua Lipa mix. Hey, I just added Free Fall, Free Fall VIP, Free Fall Rayali, X Core remix. It's featuring. This is one of my actual like. I consider this a dubstep classic. Um, Based on, well, it's already 12 years old at this point, but yeah, I mean, when I remember hearing this one, but yeah, and then free falling, freaks and geeks. So what was it she just said?
There's a fear aspect to it, like you're falling. You
No. Uh, Goofy ass. All right. Anyway, let's. Goddamn. Oh, and hold on. We got one more. We got Skyfall. Skyfall. Blah, 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 blah. What? Oh, it's orange. Seems like the color of the season. All right. Anyway. Just like goofy ass, and also where it says we're closer than you think, and then it says UK. Hmm.
keep falling. You can't grab a hold of
Oh my
anything.
god.
You can't grab onto a wall of any sort. It's a well that is ever pulling you downward, but there is no end to it. But in that, there is.
It's like the thing from the Book of Revelation, the abyss thing. Except, no, that ain't. I might be the one with the key to the abyss, but or I might be able to point that there's someone who has the key to the abyss out, but I ain't falling. That's for goddamn sure.
Moments of euphoria.
Something tried to trip me and make me fall. That seems to be what it's describing in Revelation, but in this, third and fourth church thing, that's the idea of being tripped.
Moments of that is ever pulling you downward, but there is no end to it. But in that, there is moments of euphoria, moments of enlightenment, moments of motion that has no attachment, of observation, of awareness, of profundity, that you're falling in love with yourself. This is for you.
I'm gonna just say this: I've never had an issue with not loving myself, so I don't have to fall into this trap of like self love, this, that, or the other. I love Yahweh, right? And Yahweh provides me everything I need for my ego to be fine. And it's just a bunch of people attacking that and attacking me, and it's physically crippling me, and it hurts beyond words, and it's affecting my mom and dad, which is why I at this point I don't care. The fact that it's been affecting them for a long time now, yeah, I don't care. So not that I don't care about them, that I don't care about whatever the fuck is an obstacle to me. Sooner or later, I'm gonna cut you down. You do not want to be in front of this sharp double-edged sword when it cuts you down. You want the sword to be cutting things down for you, but you don't want to be in front of it as something that gets cut down. There's only weeping and gnashing of teeth and infinite burning torture.
You. This is you exiting what is so called the matrix, which in many ways Spirit has shown me in a very
The womb, the matrix. I mean, actually, this is how these people, they just don't get it. They just don't fucking get it.
strange way, if you don't mind me delving into this side of the conversation. We are almost in a water coffin of some sort. And there are what these look like ape looking super intellectual beings that are basically in a cubicle. They seem to be slaves themselves who are running this operation in a dead planet. We aren't really here. And we are truly in the matrix.
No, your ass is really here. Your ass is really in that room. Your ass is really trying to convince me using some janky ass fucking naive ass techniques which just don't work. Like, I don't think you get how this looks, but it ain't good. You should reassess your situation if this is what you think it is.
This could be metaphorical, but mind you, There are multiple dimensions. So this is real.
Yeah, and I don't think you understand how they work. In fact, I know you don't at this point.
And there are those of us who are of quote unquote Zion, or those who have exited the matrix or whatever.
No, Zion is the 144,000 virgins that, are reserved for the one like a son of man to be his companions because they're literally sacrificing women's virginity and sexuality and eggs on the altar of raping away mine and everybody else's reality to steal it away for, I guess, a bunch of people in cubicles or some shit. I mean, that's just, the agency or whatever the fuck. But I don't actually think it's the agency. I think it's a bunch of fucking witches and wizards that have lost their fucking mind and think I'm Voldemort. When it's like, no, Yahweh's about to cut you down. You should stop.
The case might be, we are seeing the appearance of them frequently. You are in this path. You cannot explain it to anyone, nor should you be
Is it the path of Neo? It's a video game.
obliged to. You cannot force anyone to wake up, right? So
No, you can. That's called waking someone up. You are generally, if you're the one that's awake and they're asleep, you're generally the one that has the ability to force them to wake up. If you can't, they're dead or comatose. But okay, let's keep with the janky metaphors that don't actually work out in reality.
this is a message for you from Spirit. It's a personal message.
From spirit, which spirit? This is how you test the spirits according to the New Testament, right? I wonder, does she believe that Jesus has come in the flesh? That Jesus is the Son of God who's come in the flesh? Let's see. What does this say? Test the spirits. John 1 or First John. Hold on. Hold on here. We're going to go to desktop. We're going to open up my Jerusalem Bible. Le Bible de Jerusalem. What's this taking so long to open? There we go. All right. I'm going to say it again. It's got some heat, don't it? Let's go to First John here. I'm going to First John. Third condition, be on guard against the enemies of Christ and against the world. It is not every spirit, my dear people, that you can trust. Test them to see if they come from God. There are many false prophets now in the world. You can tell the spirits that come from God by this. Every spirit which acknowledges that Jesus the Christ has come in the flesh is from God. But any spirit which will not say this of Jesus is not from God, but is the spirit of Antichrist, whose coming you are warned about. Well, now he is here in the world, children. You have already overcome these false prophets because you are from God and you have in you one who is greater than anyone in this world. Oh, you mean that Yahweh is in me? The spirit of Yahweh is in me because I believe in Jesus, his Christ, Yeshua, Yoshua, his anointed son, Jesus of Nazareth, who died and was resurrected on the third day? Yeah. Oh. Anyway. As for them, they are of the world, and they speak the language of the world, and the world listens to them. But we are children of God, and those who know God, truly, listen to us. Those who are not of God refuse to listen to us. This is how we can tell the spirit of truth from the spirit of falsehood. So when she says the spirit, which spirit? The spirit of falsehood? And I'll say this. When it speaks of the spirit of Antichrist, I believe somewhere in here it just specifically says there are many Antichrists. It is a spirit that is in people who are anti-Christ, which is against Christ, against the anointed of Yahweh God. For whatever reason, money, power, they're just taught wrong, whatever it is. Uh, The man who denies that Jesus is the Christ, he is a liar. He is antichrist. Notice that the antichrist isn't like the main bad character at the end of the book, right? Does that make sense? In Revelation, there is no antichrist in the book of Revelation where it doesn't say specifically, "Hey, it's the antichrist." There's a beast from the sea and a beast from the earth, and Satan, the dragon, the little snaky snake, but it doesn't say anything about Antichrist. Reasonably, every one of those characters, along with anybody who's not engaging that Yahweh is God and that Jesus is his Christ who has come in the flesh and died and rose again and sits at the right hand of power, is Antichrist. They are Antichrists. So, let's wrap this up. But which spirit you talking about, Light Shield? I don't even know your name. What's your name?
You will be able to understand or understand what.
Understand? What about overstanding?
Obliged to. You cannot force anyone to wake up, right? So
If I'm the awake one and their ass is asleep, I mean, unless they're fucking dead, yeah, I can force them to wake up.
this is a message for you.
I guess unless they're comatose. This is a message for you!
From Spirit, it's a personal message. You will be able to understand or understand whatever information that it is they have embedded in this information. You are here, is what I'm hearing. You are here. You just need to open your eyes. It's almost like you are in some kind of coma.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, is she about to say coma? Yeah, I don't think you get how this whole wake asleep thing works, but I can tell you that my right eye is the one that seems to be not quite open, and it seems to be associated with a bunch of people's left eyes. But okay, we'll see what happens here. But yeah, is she about to say coma? Let's see.
You just need to open your eyes. It's almost like you are in some kind of coma. Metaphorically. You need to.
I think I would suggest your ass is in the coma. If I just ESP'd that was what you were gonna say, which it seems like, yeah. I mean, I guess it seems like, yeah, I did because everybody's following the beat of my drum, not the other way around.
Open your eyes. But
Open,
you're here.
open your eyes. Open your left eye specifically. You can clearly see that it's having issue. It's not just the lighting. I mean, one thing that I would say is the AI is going to be able to, listening to me, start telling who, it's going to be able to engage. The amount of white that you can see in people's eyes, right, is directly related to this issue that I'm talking about. And so it's going to be able to measure how much white in your eyes and your iris itself, right? Because but and your I suppose your pupil, but it's more your iris. But the white in your eyes, like literally, your left eye has more white showing. I mean, your right eye. Yeah, your left eye has less. I meant this eye has more white showing. This eye has more. It's more covered by your eyelid.
You don't. It's almost like you are in some kind of coma. Metaphorically. You need to open your eyes. But you're here. You don't have.
Yeah, it looks to me and sounds to me, and it just is the reality that you seem to be the one in the spiritual coma or the whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're sleepy time's over, baby.
Have to struggle anymore. I hope this message came across, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day.
It did come across as if it's like, people are generally just, instead of engaging the reality of this situation, they're trying to cross me, right? Like, some kind of public ritual of abuse and humiliation, which is going to end in what it says in the book of Revelation, because I'm in the right. I've always been in the right as far as this stuff is concerned. And yet, Spirit is telling me. Which spirit? Because it ain't the spirit of God or Jesus or Yahweh. Maybe it's the spirit of some knockoff of Yahweh, but it definitely ain't the spirit of truth.
By day, I mean this ocean of time that just seems to be continuing, ever continuing. It's motherfucking Groundhog Day out here. Bye.
Yeah, the ocean of time that gets emptied into the burning lake at the end of the book. Like the book that everybody has and could read pretty much here in America. I think you're in America because your accent isn't English, at least that I can tell. But bye. I mean, it just comes off to me as like goofy ass spiritism. You know, not to. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. Honestly, that's not my intent. But you probably should when you're not just engaging the reality of what this is. You think that I think I've chosen to become Neo? It's that it was built around me. I mean, actually, like the entirety of literally the Matrix and all these intellectual properties are built around me, seemingly either to help me or siphon off my reality and sell it back to me and to other people. And everything being the one on the throne in the kingdom of heaven, being the one conquering at the seven churches of Asia, everything is mine. Now, what is it that I do with it? Well, to those who are worthy, I give it back. And by worthy, I mean like if you are believing the right thing and doing the right thing, there's a kingdom of heaven where you have a spot. But if you're engaging this kind of false spiritism and bullshit like this, and you know I don't see a cross around her neck. I see a crystal. Not that I think a cross around someone's neck actually means anything. I've brought up many a time. I've seen literally people wearing crosses as they commit armed robbery. So, it doesn't mean shit to me other than it does signify something about you. I would suggest that those crystals and all, none of this magic shit works against me. In the least, it doesn't work very well, and anything that's allowed to hit is allowed so that I can track it back to where it is and cut it off. With that sharp double edged sword. Or maybe with the rod of iron brought down on someone's head. Bonk! But okay, I'm gonna end this here. I mean, if you feel bad about how I've engaged this, welcome to my reality that people are constantly trying to make me feel bad. Except I'm just the one in a place where what I'm saying is truth. People don't like truth. That's the issue. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here, but just like goofy ass. All right. I like, just by the way, I'm gonna say light. I like your hair better when it's a fro, but or when it's just wild. This whole putting it up kind of looks like an eraser, but you're welcome to do whatever. I mean, I'm just giving you my opinion. It seems like my opinion doesn't really matter to people, though it clearly changes the way people act. That's a weird thing. Got some coffee on my tongue. Anyway, all right. Maybe this is why the whole Joker Joker thing, because it's just like this shit's laughable. It is actually laughable to me. I mean, is this supposed to be a real attempt to like, I don't know, intimidate or demean me or something? Because I think it backfired. This magic shit is stupid. Would you wizards and witches stop this bullshit and just like wake the fuck up? You will never defeat Yahweh. You aren't even close. You aren't even close to me, and I'm a clown. How the fuck you think you're actually going to engage Yahweh God is beyond. Like it's. I don't understand it because It's like that void thing, the thing that you're talking about falling. That's you. I like and it's just an infinite void of stupidity. That's the only like that's why it's like I'm trying to think about it and I'm like it just goes on forever. It's endless stupidity. So please engage this in a good way because currently I don't see that happening. Not from everybody, but damn light, you really fucked this one up. Anyway, have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. Later. Yeah.